All right, today we are going to create our birds for our bird bath. So you are going to get a little bit extra clay, about that much, and you're going to create a bird or whatever you want for your bird bath. Now, when we create our birds, I don't want it to be bigger than your thumb. So this is going to be too big. So what I want you to do is think about how you want your bird to be sitting or what you want it to be doing. This bird, and I'll leave these on my desk, has kind of its head down. It's like a little kind of that cardinal shape, and then the tail. And then on this one I had time to do two birds. This one has its wings kind of out and its head turned, and this one's just got its head turned towards this bird. So when you are creating your bird, you can do it however you want or whatever you're creating. A good way to start is to create kind of a ball, almost like an oval, and then just start sort of using your fingers to pinch the beak. And then I'm kind of using my fingers to pinch a tail. I don't want it to be too thin because then it gets a little bit too weak. And that kind of looks like almost a bird right away. You can see it kind of looks like a bird. If I need to use water to smooth some of this area out, I can. Make sure you have your bird exactly the way you want it before you join it. Your pointy tool is really good to add little eyes. I can use this part of my pointy tool. Just make one eye, another eye. I can also use, sometimes their dry clay gets on there, you got to get that off. I can also use the flat part of my pointy tool to make kind of those lines for feathers. If I push down and kind of pull, kind of creates that texture for the feathers. Now, when you're finished with your bird, then you can join it to your bird bath. Let's say I want to make some wings. Let me show you something else. If I make them too thin, then they'll get really fragile and break. But I can make little balls and just kind of flatten them out almost into a pancake shape, and then start forming those with my fingers, kind of into a wing shape. Wings are usually pointed, and then I can add those to my bird. Now if I want to add this separately, I have to score it. So I have to scratch, add water, scratch again, and then wherever it's going to join together, I've got to scratch that part, add water, scratch again. So my two parts of my bird's wings are going to stick together with that kind of muddy paste, and then I can kind of smooth out where that goes. And I would do the same thing on the other side, or I can bend it out a little bit like that. Make sure it's stuck. Now when I join it to my bird, if I want it to be sitting inside the bird bath, I can do that. Maybe I want it kind of poking out. Maybe I want it facing this way. Oh, I got a little bit of those. Sometimes that's hard to get, those little, with your fingers. Your fingers are your best tools. Okay, but I'm going to have mine facing in this way. So I need to score it. I'm going to scratch wherever it's going to join my bird bath. The clay is a little bit more dried out. Add water. Just tap it on there and then scratch it again to mix the water in. You want to have that water mixed in so it's nice and muddy like that. And then wherever it joins, scratch, add water, mix the water in so you get that kind of muddy paste, and then attach it gently, kind of wiggle it and attach it. And then sometimes that, you know it's scored really well if that paste kind of squeezes out. Then you can smooth that down. Obviously I need another wing on my bird. And you are finished. Maybe you want to have your bird turning his head. Just turn the head a little bit, and you are finished. And we're going to be done with these today. Double check that your name is on the inside and your teacher's name and initials.